Alright, this is just a part two to the previous video, but there's so much I could talk about the VMAs in general, but I wanted to keep it limited to kind of the Kanye West and Taylor Swift or whatever, how it kind of had to deal with the previous video. But so right here, Taylor Swift comes out and she says um, that her and her brother actually, or she first met Kanye West 6 years ago. And interesting because Hurricane Fred is actually the sixth storm. It's the sixth storm of the 2015 season with a name. One, two, three, four, five, six. Um, Also, so 6 years ago was also 2009, the 2009 VMAs when he came up on stage. So that's kind of funny. And the names that they're using this year for all of the tropical storms and hurricanes, they're reusing the same list that was used in the 2009 season. Pretty interesting. Also, the first storm of the season, look when it look when it started. May 8th, 5/8, the 58 that we have been seeing over and over and over. So, found that kind of interesting. She even goes on to say that her and her brother, the first iTunes thing they ever downloaded was Kanye West's album College Dropout. Now check out the gematria of College Dropout. 168. Just like Taylor Swift. Just like Beyonce Knowles, how it all started, he went up and said, Beyonce had the greatest album of all time. And Taylor Swift right here even makes fun of that and says Kanye has the greatest career of all time. But then we also have Queen Elizabeth. I should pull it up. There was an article about how Taylor Swift was the queen or something. Queen Elizabeth II, 168. West Philadelphia. Been talking about, a lot about that. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was from West Philadelphia. That's 168. I talked about the Fresh Prince, like the Queen is going to die, and then Prince Charles is going to be the new king. So the Fresh Prince or whatever. Also in the movie Trainwreck, it was all about the New York Mets. There was tons of foreshadowing of the New York Mets and a possible Subway series. New York Mets, 168. Even the day Pope Francis became the Pope, March 13th, 2013, 168. And then I'm just going to throw in Hurricane down here. Hurricane adds up to 52. So we have Hurricane Fred. So who knows, maybe nothing will come of it. But just interesting that Hurricane adds up to 52. And 52 has been a huge coded number this year, dealing with the Queen. The number 239, which is also kind of like 923 when the Pope is coming. 239 as a date, whatever. Talked about this so many times, but going to show it again here. So just a lot of stuff with 5-2. Maybe I'll post the numbers video with this as well, with the other videos if you don't understand what I'm talking about. And here's the article that I was talking about that I read before when I first got home. Taylor Swift, Queen of MTV Awards, Kanye eyes presidency. I mean, I don't know how many times I've talked about the Queen dying and Obama being assassinated. So it's just really weird that they would even put them two words together. The Queen, Taylor Swift is the Queen, and Kanye eyes presidency. In the previous video where I talked about Kanye West singing the Queen song at Glastonbury, and it was horrible, and he says, Mama, I just killed a man. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. And then now, and I compared it to the Queen Elizabeth and her mother, and also to Obama, and now they have an article on Yahoo that says Taylor Swift, Queen of MTV Awards, and Kanye eyes presidency. That's some strange stuff. It's almost like they read my mind. Or almost like I read theirs, I guess. I don't know. That's some crazy stuff. It's also funny that he said he's going to run for president in 2020. Well, hindsight is 2020, and that is exactly what's happening. They're telling you what's going to happen, and then when you look back on it, you go, hey, it's totally obvious. You know what I mean? So, interesting, he would say he's going to run in 2020. So, I mean, yeah, that will be the next time that someone would run for president. But check this out. All this stemmed from the year 2009. And so Kanye West was born on June 8th, but it all stems from 2009, the same year that Obama became the president. Obama became president on 1/20/2009. If you go to Kanye West's birthday that year, 139 days. I've talked about that number I don't know how many times. The VMAs in 2009 were on 13-9 or September 9th or 13th, September 13th. So that also means that if Kanye West did win the presidency, he would become president on 1/20/2021, and that's 139 days before his 44th birthday, and Obama, the 44th president, it's just craziness. Even when he's running, like when Kanye would be running, he'd be 43 years old, and Obama is the 43rd person to be president and the 44th president. So I feel like that's absolutely the reason why he would say that, because I've talked about it previously about how I think it's something to do with the possible assassination of Obama. And also, she says when she was 12 years old is when she got college dropout. And college dropout, I mean, this could just be maybe she doesn't know how old she was when she really got it. She's just saying whatever. But this album was released on February 10th, 2004. And Taylor Swift was born on 12/13/1989. So that's not 12 years. That's 14 years, 1 month, 28 days. This is so ridiculous. She says nobody knows about how he spent years studying the craft and the art of fabric or something, of knitting or whatever she says. I can't even remember what she says, but she pauses after saying studying the art of craft or whatever. And she's talking about Freemasonry. It's so ridiculous, but it makes it sound like he's spent years studying, like arts and crafts, but it's actually the craft is what she's talking about. And I know that even more because he's signed to Rockefeller Records, when they do Jay-Z and whatnot. He does all the Illuminati stuff. It's so ridiculous. Most people probably wouldn't even catch that, I bet. She says studying the craft and then moves on. It's crazy. And I'm just going to play it for you so you can listen to it.
Wired shut after a car accident. Or how he spent years studying the craft and the art of fashion, and even learned to sew before launching his very own line that has been wildly successful.
Yeah, he did spend years studying the craft, I'm sure. Dude, this is unbelievable, and I can't even prove it, but the video's 1304 on here on MTV, and earlier when I was watching it, it literally stopped at 1303, and he talked for 2 more minutes, and it just stayed on 1303, and now it's not going to do it at all. It's so ridiculous. It froze on 1303. I'm just saying it, whether you believe me or not. It stopped at 1303. He talked for 2 more minutes, and then now it won't do it. But 1303 is the day Pope Francis became the Pope. I don't know how it does that or what. They wanted me to see that. It's so ridiculous. I wish I could prove it. Anyway, sorry for rambling. So literally right after I say that, I clicked on this to see if I'd uploaded part 1 to this video, and I clicked on this to see if my video had uploaded yet, and look at this. 3 views 13 minutes ago. You can't make that up. That's the 3/13, the March 13th, the day Pope Francis became the Pope. I mean, what are the odds of that? It's so strange. That's creepy almost, but... And then I paused this video on 52, whatever, man. That's nuts.
We got Mr. John Lane.
Okay, so, this whole thing is it's so ridiculous. Taylor Swift wins the Video of the Year award for Bad Blood, and then at the very end she says that she's just glad we live in a world now where boys can be princesses and girls can play princesses and boys and girls can play soldiers. Sorry. It's all about the gay agenda. I even talked about that in the previous video when Kanye West sings the Queen song, because the Queen is the gay band, whatever. This whole thing, Miley Cyrus promotes marijuana like crazy through this whole VMAs too. I know I wasn't going to talk about it that much, but Interesting in gematria, marijuana is 88, a number we've talked about for years now, probably 2 years or a little bit more now. There's so many different meanings. You could go back and watch pretty much this number pretty much got me making videos. So, also the word green, people call marijuana green, is 49, and we've seen this number just tons of times. I mean, there's lots of different meanings. I'll post the numbers video in the description so you know what I'm talking about. Well, it's almost over, so I'm just gonna talk about a few things on these last few pieces of it. Now, 10 years ago, or maybe more, or whatever, I would have told you you're crazy. I would have said you are crazy if, like, but they are so promoting the gay agenda and just like promiscuity or whatever, whatever people call it, the super sex, and they're promoting so many agendas with this, and they even tell you that they're doing it to get the minds of children. So I'm just gonna play this here.
Everyone in this room and everyone watching at home tonight.
And just like all the people around the world that have no idea that tonight even exists, when it's such a big deal to all of us.
When you think of it that way, it can make it all seem so unimportant. But the truth is, tonight does matter. Why?
Because of all the sticky, young, and questionable minds of our future that are watching all of us right now.
But it isn't always about what we do when everyone's watching. Sometimes it's about who we are when they're not.
Being human comes with some responsibilities.
Our greatest ones being taking care of the animals, the planet, and each other.
Always say what you mean and mean what you say. And in the words of tonight's host and our next and final...
So they bring in Miley Cyrus or whatever, and then it's like the most ridiculous video ever. She's like, yeah, smoke pot or whatever. And she's like promoting smoking weed. They're promoting like, this do what you want thing. You know what I mean? It is insane. I don't even know how to explain it that well, but it's so ridiculous. 10 years ago, I would have said you were crazy. And now I see it so bad, it's not even funny. They tell you they're basically, it's the one kid said, the girl that looks like Miley Cyrus is the one who says, it's the sticky minds of the children or whatever. That's just weird that they're promoting it to all these kids. And then also the next kid says, but you didn't know but it's not the stuff that you can see or whatever. So he's telling you they're doing secret things, And then it goes into the Miley Cyrus video here. I'll just put a picture of it here. I mean, so her video is all about smoking pot, and she got all these drag queens dancing around with the one eyes symbolism and whatnot. And look at that one. He's like rubbing his crotch. It's so ridiculous. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. And honestly, I even DJ'd a gay wedding. Like, I don't have any problem with gay people. The thing is that I have a problem with is that they're promoting it for a reason. What that reason is, there's a ton of different theories and whatnot, but they're promoting it for a reason, and I could care less. But what I do care is that they're promoting it, so that makes it kind of scary and bad to me. So, you know what? Whatever. I mean, like I said, I could care less, but I just wish that people could see this for what it is. I mean, I'd be pretty mad if I was gay and I saw this and I finally saw it and I realized that's why I was gay, or from the hormones in the food or whatever. Yeah, just all this pre-programming. I'd be ticked, but who knows? I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like a huge dick or something, but it's ridiculous once you finally see the agenda. But yep, I'm just gonna end it right here. So who knows? It's just if I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to end. So I'm just gonna say have a good night, like I always do. So peace.